Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of On the Other Line Canada. We got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about in the show today. First of all, for anyone that hasn't checked it out, I made the mistake of selling my ice shack early. What did that mean? I had to rely on all my friends to put me up with all their gear to carry me through the season. With that being said, I got my new shack. I wanted to see how user friendly it is. Head over to our YouTube channel. We're going to start demoing products more often, an unedited version. There's one thing I've noticed with a lot of stuff, as great as it is to see how user friendly products are, they're edited clips. So how do we see if a shack is user friendly if we edit it? It could take us 10 minutes to set up. With my talent, or lack of talent, I guess you could say, I was able to set it up quite quick. So with that being said, head on over to the YouTube page, check it out. We got people saying hello already. If you're already on here, we got lots of viewers, 9 right off the bat. Luke, hi Luke, we're going to be talking about you a little bit later. Greg Rice in the house. I hope you can stay on, Greg, because we've got some trash talking to do for you. Darren, how are you, brother? Conrad, thanks for checking in. Great to see you on here. Anyone that didn't check out the 5 questions with, as you all know, I like to stir the pot a little bit. So Tash has had 24 hours to kind of sit there and ponder what's going to happen. We got Adam coming in later in the show. The competition is going to be fierce. For whatever reason, these two are twinning today. So that gives you any idea of what it's going to be like for this show. It's going to be intense. So we'll keep the trash talking on a adult but still approved for children level, because we know there's a lot of youngsters watching. And we got Bobby checking in. Mr. Yurnitsky, I have your water bottle. I will ship it out this week. Hello, Dwayne. Good to see you. She doesn't need introduction. Many people know who she is. I'm going to bring her in. Or should I bring her in? I guess I'll bring her in. Tash Eaglesham. Tash, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's everybody?
Well, I mean, I'm doing awesome. I got my new jersey to stretch out. Now, I don't think Jay is on here yet. Reeling with Jay. I went and saw Mr. Labradilla today. I got a nice jersey from him.
That's awesome.
Guess what happened? Can you guess when I brought it home?
No.
It has been officially claimed by Marcy.
It fits Marcy too good, so she's stealing it?
So, John, I'm sorry. I love it. I'm wearing it. The minute, and I told her I wouldn't share the picture. I might share the picture anyways. She stole the jersey from me. And you stole my Jiffy shirt from me, so I mean, I guess I kind of need to get that back for me at some point. But we've got this mutual sharing of clothes. You're wearing my Jiffy hoodie.
It happens, you know? Like, at least I can still fit these. It would be hilarious for you to fit this one. Well, my arms are like half the size of yours.
Maybe it's a challenge we should try. You should wear one of my jerseys or one of my hoodies at a 2 extra tall or a 3X, and I'll wear yours at what, like a extra small?
I think this one's just a small, so you might be good.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know that it's really a competition we'd want to share with anybody.
Well, crop tops are in style now, you know, so it'd be good.
Crop tops are in style. That's going to be a trend that ends relatively quick. Well, Tash, welcome to the show. You know what national day it is. Actually, yesterday we talked about 6 national days. I thought you were going to pick National Puppy Day.
It was a toss-up.
A toss-up, and we ended up with National Melba Toast Day. Now, I did not buy a package of Melba Toast, and I'll tell you why. Because I found something that resembles Melba Toast. And I realized very quickly why I don't like this. This thing is rock hard. I'm tempted to dip it in my water right now. I appreciate the fact that you love Melba Toast. You're my guest. You get to choose the direction of the show. But your Melba Toast, she gone. I will not I absolutely refuse. My dental plan will not approve it. That stuff, you could probably make snowshoes out of it. But anyways, happy National Melba Toast Day to you.
Oh,
Did you eat
thank
Melba
you.
toast today?
I had little Melba toasts with bruschetta.
Okay,
It's
well
really,
how do you do it?
them up a little bit, then they're not so crunchy.
I think it's an age thing. I'm getting old and the teeth are getting brittle, so I steer clear of it. We got Greg saying hi to you. Bill Mathrak, Horseshoe Bill. I don't know if it's any relation to the Horseshoe Kid, but Bill, how are you? Vishal, John, happy to see you're on here. It was awesome talking to you today. Darren, I mean, he needs no introduction. Of course, he's saying Melba Toast needs bruschetta. So Mr. Hofflin is on here as well. So you've attracted quite the crowd because they all know you're going to talk about fishing locations and give up all your hot spots, which I think is just it's exceptional, Tash. I really appreciate that you're willing to do that for everyone watching.
No problem, no problem. I'm just doing my deed, my good deed for the day.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a good show. Now, a few of the spots you actually give Adam off because the 5 questions last night it got a bit heated. I stirred the pot a little bit, right? You and Adam have talked, and I think you guys have come together as a cohesive unit, which is why you're going to be dressed similar today. Is that kind of my understanding? You guys have said your piece and resolved.
No, definitely not. It's gonna be a smackdown for sure.
It is, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. I got Jesse actually saying, as a guy from the USA, WTF is Melba toast. Picture, I don't know how to describe it. Picture the cardboard from your local Amazon package dipped in water and then air dried, and then you're trying to chew on it. Sorry, Tash, that's just going to be the stance I take on this. But
they're like flat croutons. Like that's what I think they're like.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the crunchy. I'll eat the sweet, but the crunchy, I'm out. We could talk Melba toast all day, but it is a fishing show after all. How is the start to your season for open water? We're past. Ice is gone for now. Have you been out yet for open water season, or when are you planning on getting out?
I took a couple hours the other day and went down to Crow's Nest Pass and hit Lumbrick Falls and kind of fished that area. The river's still super low, super clean. If anything, probably be great to hit some dry flies out there the next few days. It's gonna be pretty nice out.
So do you typically find that, like, right now with everything transitioning, that you're going to hit it as hard as you can before we start to get some runoff? Because with this weather, I mean, it could change on a dime, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. And so fish are going to be coming out of their winter holes, and with pre-runoff, the water levels are still low, so they can only really go so far. So it's nice to take advantage of that clean, like low water. You can like hike and wade, you can cross all over the place, because in a few weeks it's going to be super messy, chocolate milk, raining. So I try to take advantage of it if I can before that happens.
Yeah, and you and I spoke about this last night, but I'm more of an inner city fisherman. I guess I'm the city boy when it comes to fishing. And it was kind of funny that you brought up about ice pack and water flow, and how the majority of the fish have not come out of their winter areas and even moved upstream. I mean, for a lot of my inner city spots, I'm not seeing a lot of activity. And when you said that, I'm like, oh, actually, that makes a lot of sense. I guess I'm learning.
Yeah, well, we had a late cold snap, right? So even though it got really warm really quick, the water temperatures haven't changed a ton. So, it's going to take time.
The only thing I won't do that you talked about is waiting.
I know.
You and I have done a crossing. No, I haven't shown you the video clip that was aired on TV for this. Okay. They aired the crossing.
Really?
And all I can remember is how I was going to have a heart attack because, as you know, I can't swim. So, I mean, I might as well just ask you this right now. because we have seen a lot of people, with the weather being nice, walking up and down the river, walking ice. And unfortunately, some people have drowned because of that. When you're talking about walking and wading this time of year, what kind of precautions are you kind of taking to make sure that you're being safe when you're doing this?
Well, I'm still definitely like it's slippery everywhere, and even the spots where there aren't ice, it's super muddy and it's slick, and that water's so cold. So if you go in there in 1 second, you're done for kind of thing, right? So I usually wear a spike on one foot just for a little bit of extra traction. Make sure you got your waders on with your wading belt super tight, wear some layers. And I threw my float jacket, my DSG float jacket on because it was pretty windy, so it kept me warm. So that's just another thing that if I do go in, you have that little bit of flotation. So that's a good thing to pair with your waders in the spring.
That's really important information. And one thing I wouldn't say I learned the hard way, but if you're wearing waders, make sure you've got the proper belt,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
I
you want to
mean,
make sure it can get really tight
yeah. Which I
because that's
mean,
going to
my,
prevent
my
that flow.
well, my COVID weight has allowed me to really make sure those waders are super tight. So I have a suspicion after putting shorts on the other day that I probably don't even need a belt, but use your belt anyways because obviously if you fall in, you now become just one bag filled with water, and that's not going to help.
No.
I like the idea of what you said with putting a spike at least on one foot. That's something I never thought of. And in all honesty, considering how rough I am at crossing, maybe I just need to have corkers 24/7 because, yeah, I'll put the clip up. Maybe I'll put it on our page so people can see what I'm talking about. But that was not fun for me.
No, no, I know it wasn't. And I don't know. I am a crazy little girl that will wade through anything. So, you know, I guess I had my spots of where to step and like where I didn't want to step. So, you know, I'm comfortable going through there all the time, but I could have been a little more inconsiderate of your feelings before we did that.
I think if anybody saw really what happened, they would wonder why there is a man of my size whimpering and crying, and you're being the calm, cool, collective, and supportive Tash that you always are, going, "Oh, you're okay. You're okay. Here, take my walking stick. Take my net. Can I take your gear?" So you were very supportive in that rough part of my life. But unfortunately, I will not be doing crossings. I see Adam, okay, and every time I have this kid on the show, he's laughing, and he knows what I'm talking about because he's seen me try to cross water, and mind you, I've seen him fall off mountains. So we'll talk about that later. But that safety is huge. I mean, it's unfortunate to see, the risk people are taking, whether it's walking your dog or to catch fish. So I'm happy you had some safety tips for us that way. Your favorite species. This week you picked cutties, which I mean, prime season coming for cutties. What is it
Mhm.
about cutties that you love so much?
I think I love the fact that they are a native fish to Alberta. I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of history of those here. And, the places where cutties live, the waters that they reside in are super beautiful. It just mind blowing. Each corner, each stretch is just more beautiful than the next. So to get to be able to catch, a strong, elusive fish like that in some of the most beautiful setting in the world is pretty special. I feel really lucky to get to do that.
I've not spent a lot of time targeting them. I think maybe I've caught one or two my whole time, but I am determined because you've invited Marcy and myself out a few times now. This will be the year. Again, it's probably going to be a lot of pressure this year because I know you're going to share your exact locations of where you're catching cutties tonight. So maybe we can get out before the mad rush.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. There's a few opening days happening soon within a short drive from us, so there's definitely some places we can go.
Yep, which brings in, we like to talk bodies of water typically. But because it is sort of a specialized species, what region are you targeting these in typically?
Like I said last night, the eastern slopes. I and you can catch them anywhere out west from the upper river, like the upper Red Deer River, all the way down to you got Crow's Nest. I like to fish the upper Old Man quite a bit. That's a place that's near and dear to my heart, especially right now with everything going on out there. So it's good to be able to appreciate that while we still can.
Absolutely. And I think anyone involved in the outdoors could understand and appreciate what you're talking about with some of the recent developments from an environmental standpoint with coal mining and operations like that. I know you're very involved in, making people aware of protecting our environment that way, which, I mean, it doesn't go unnoticed. So we appreciate that you're doing that for sure. Let's just keep doing what you're doing. What is your biggest cutty? I have to ask. What's your
My
PB?
biggest cutty is 23.5 inches, and that was caught out of a river. And my goal is 25 out of the river. So, hopefully this year that comes along. I'm getting so close.
Are you finding that your body of water you're targeting, they're consistently growing, like population wise? Are you finding they're declining at all, or what's your experience been?
No, especially the last few years, even since 2013, there's been a lot of healing in our rivers down there, and the numbers and size are just getting better and better. I catch a variety of fish, all the way from small little, minnow size cutthroats to 20 plus inches. And so it's really nice to see those healthy throughout our waterways and kind of returning to places that they were before that huge flood.
That's amazing. I know Adam and yourself in particular, and you do this a lot of hiking in. Are you finding that now with a lot of the pressure on that you're going to be focusing more this year on hike-ins and spending the extra time to get the distance versus, convenience, I guess you should say, when it comes to fishing to target cutties?
Yeah, definitely I am. There's a lot of like with the last year and everyone just being pushed to be outside so much, it's really busy out west. And so even last year I found myself exploring further and further up streams and rivers, doing a lot of hiking. Like on an average day I'll get like 15 plus kilometers of river hiking in. So, that it's definitely producing, and it's nice to get away from those spots that get hit a lot and catch some fish that aren't targeted all the time. So,
Yeah,
it's super special. You get into some bigger fish, the harder you work and the further you go, the nicer the fish will be.
absolutely. Bill was just asking what we're experiencing for water levels. What have you noticed in the south? Have you noticed the water levels are pretty low right now?
The water levels are pretty low right now. We had a decent amount of snow, but we did have quite the dry end to the season before winter, and it's still pretty cold in the mountains. So a lot of that, winter winter ice pack hasn't even moved yet. So um, I'd say this year they're not too bad. The last couple years they've come up quite a bit from what they were. We saw some really bad years in like 2015. The water levels were lower than ever. They closed a lot of rivers to fishing because the temperature was above 22 degrees Celsius for more than 7 days consecutively. A lot of fish die when that happens. It's too stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Even to just be out in that water with all of, all the organisms that live in there. We're messing around in their home and boating and fishing and hiking and whatever through their water during that time. It's stress to them. So it's, the last couple of years have been definitely a step up. I'm looking forward to runoff this year. And, I like fishing the messy water, so I'm pumped for that to come.
Chocolate milk water, you can still catch fish, right?
Some of my best fish have come from the dirtiest of water.
Especially brown trout. They love it. You just have to know how to fish for them. We
Yes,
got
even cutting.
cutties too. Dirty water.
Yeah, I did really well in messy water last spring.
Really?
Yeah, one of my best opening days in that I can remember, to tell you the truth. It was awesome.
Well, if you want to go ahead when you share your pin store page, just put in which location is best for muddy water, and Adam and I will make sure to fish it this season. I think it'll be pretty good. I mean, there's not anybody watching anyways, so you'll be fine. Share away. Our little secret. Well, we got Clayton checking in. Clayton, good evening. Mitch, hello, Mitch. Mitch has been working his butt off this week. No time for fishing. Dana, Zach Davis. Hey, Zach, how are you? Cat Daddy Fishing Guide Services on here. Been hearing a lot of stuff from Dana about Cat Daddy and Manitoba. I don't know if anyone's planning on fishing Manitoba this year, but if you are, you have to go check that out. Lloyd, hello. Who else do we have on here? Lots of conversation. Hello, Barb, you're on here. I believe Dino and Mort are potentially watching as well. I don't know if you've heard of them. Here's a question. COVID has resulted in a lot of us packing on the weight a little bit. Have you seen pictures of Dino lately?
No. Why, you got a good one?
Go check him out. I'm not sure what diet he's on. I believe it's a fish diet, and he's not able to catch fish. Maybe is what's resulting in his severe weight loss. But I think you'll be passing some clothes my way. Maybe you'll have to check that out. Well, what did you bring for tackle? Seeing as you're sharing spots, you're also going to share your favorite tackle with us for cutties.
Yeah. So a couple things that I brought are near and dear to my heart. Andy had a lure called the Rig and Spin. And the last year he was alive, we spent a lot of time fishing rivers, and he was tying me these lures in different sizes and lengths to fish for trout for. So I don't know if you can see these very good. Here, I'll do it one at a time. So there's a little weight at the top here, and then there's a blade. He uses various blades, and then there's your hook. Oh, there we go, with the beads. And so he's got a few different ones. The other one, I went for more of a white, and he did tie some flasher tail on. But I've used this one for a lot of fish, and it's had a hard life, definitely. I'm super careful with them. If I, have to snorkel into a place to get it back, I will, because I can't get any more of these. And cutties love it. Cutties love spinners. They like that action.
I was just showing everybody an example of the one that you actually gave me, which is one of the last ones Andy tied as well. That might show up a little bit better, that rig and spin. These sausage fingers, man, they're always in the way. Here, let's try that. There's we can post pictures of them too. Pretty cool product Andy used to tie.
Yeah, they're versatile, and he would change them for specific bodies, water or species, and I really loved that. So that's kind of how I got good at fishing spinners, was learning how the lure feels as it's going through the water. When it's hitting rocks, or I think it's going to get stuck, how to determine the difference between those. So that helped me a lot, because I catch a lot of fish on spinners, especially early in the season when the water's messy and I'm not dry fly fishing or even, using other flies, nymphing and stuff. I'm still tossing. You need a little more action and vibration to get those fish to come in. And so another lure I really like to use is Panther Martin. This is a white one. It has silver back. They're heavy enough. I use a variety of sizes from, the really small ones like size 1 or 2 all the way up to size 15, depending what I'm fishing for. You can get a whole lot out of your cast with a spinner. That's what I like about them. You can, literally make use of almost 100% of your cast. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's actually funny that you bring up about the vibration of the change in the different patterns of hooks that you use. I know that for many of us that enjoy spin cast, it's the age old debate of what is better for the fish, fly fishing or spin cast. And most people that have only ever fly fished don't really realize that there is a little bit more of an art to spin cast than just chucking a hook out in the middle of the river and see what happens, right? I mean,
Yeah.
every style of hook, whether it's a spoon or a spinner or a bait, has a different, retrieval. You look at the CSTs, Panther Martins, anything like that. There is a little bit more to it than just chucking a hook out in the middle of the water, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Ricky wants some info. Ricky's asking, do you prefer gold spinners or silver in low clear waters for cutties?
I don't have a preference between those two. I'd go for either one.
That was probably the most direct answer I would have expected for you to give me on cutties. So I can't comment, but to say that I know the one that I caught, I believe, was on a silver Panther Martin. If that
Honestly,
helps, but
I think for cutties, it's not necessarily about the color. It's about what you're doing with your lure. So you can throw a purple one, you can throw a black one, an orange one, whatever. As long as you're getting it in the right spot and you're moving it through the water correctly, they're going to hit it.
right. Which is where the whole talent comes in, right? Now, I have fished with many people. I will say this for anyone that hasn't fished with Tash, and Tash, you already know what I'm going to say about you.
Mm-hmm.
You are probably the most patient person when it comes to fishing. I have ice fished with you where I've seen you fish from one hole for the entire day. I've made Swiss cheese out of the lake. You're convinced there's fish in that spot and you will stick to it. You don't get down, you don't get sad. By the end of the day, I've drilled 50 holes for no fish and you're still there and you pull out the win. Where do you get your patience from?
I think a lot of that came from like probably fishing with Andy. He taught me a lot of patience. And just for ice fishing, like a big thing for me is I'm not using a lot of electronics or anything, so I'm moving through the column and I'm trying to feel everything possible that I can feel. And if I'm sitting there and I'm feeling fish hit my bait or whatever I'm using, I know they're there. So I just got to keep working at it until I find exactly what they want to bite.
Yeah, it's a lot of change up. So is that why you pack like 15 or 20 rods at a time in your car?
Yes, you never know. You never know. And like I've been out there and broke rods and come back and like thank goodness I have a replacement in the car, else I'd be screwed.
Well, as you know, I always go under prepared, right? So we know what happens when I'm over prepared. I mean, I perform. So what better way to complain about getting skunked than be under prepared? That's just how I look at it.
Yeah.
Are you ready to tackle a tough subject?
I think so.
You sure you want to do your product review first or you want to tackle the tough subject?
I don't know. Let's hit it. Let's go.
I I love putting you just sticking it here, right? Just give you the gears. We were talking about this last night, and I was actually shocked to hear some of your stories about your experiences being a woman in I guess we'll call it the fishing world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one thing in particular where I don't know how to put this, considering we're live and there's kids, but at one point you mentioned that someone was willing to give you specific rod handling photos for exchange of fishing locations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I, I have to ask because for so many industries and sports, women are typically find it harder to be able to excel, whether it's in a career, in a hobby, or anything like that. What what is what have you found your number one struggle is as being a woman in such a sport that really for many years, let's be honest, has been male driven.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people do not want to address it. You know, what are some of your experiences and what you've had to battle through in trying to be able to share your passion for fishing?
I think the biggest thing that really drives me nuts is just how easily women are sexualized in the fishing industry. And on social media, like I know a lot of people are big about the whole fish bra picture thing and whatever, but I'm sorry. Like, if you want to take a fish bra pic and send it to your boyfriend, that's cool. But I think posting that kind of stuff on Instagram is degrading and it's frustrating because there's a lot of women like when I'm out fishing, I don't have my boobs out. Like I am full geared up. It could be 30 degrees out and I'm hiking through trees and I have hoodies and layers and stuff on like bear spray, knife, whatever, because you got to have a hood up so you're not getting bugs in your shirt when you're walking through the brush. You never know what's going to happen. If you went out there in shorts and a tank top, you would be bleeding like insane and covered in bug bites in like 20 minutes. So it's
Yeah.
just not practical, especially for the kind of fishing I'm doing. There's a lot of women out there that really work hard and they get out there and they try new things and they hike things and they buy boats, they go tour lakes, they tour all over the place, they take people fishing, that kind of stuff's all really respectable to me. But sexualizing any of it is really frustrating. Like you post a picture of a fish and the number one comment is always, oh, gorgeous, and the fish isn't bad too, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff really grinds my gears.
I've actually experienced some social media experiments where, for example, and this is just as an example, where I've seen a lady improperly handling a fish, a very big fish that is become fatal. It's not going to recover in an area where they're not supposed to be doing that, where it has nothing but praise and likes and love. But if a guy was to do that, it would be all out war on social media. And I think, again, it goes back to it doesn't really matter what you're into. Women are very sexualized when it comes to stuff like that. And again, it is a tough topic for people to want to talk about. But when we hear, you share stories like that, it's kind of disheartening as well, right?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely disheartening, but one thing that's been really great that's come of it is just the amount of support from, from some really great, like, male anglers from all over the fishing industry. There's a lot that have really come to show a lot of respect and support for the females that are out there working their butts off, and just the support that women are giving each other, and the confidence that we're gaining from that to go out and do more. And so that kind of movement and push against the negative aspects of it is one positive thing that's definitely coming from it.
Yeah, and I think I would have to say as well, I mean, we all kind of look at you as kind of a visionary and a leader. I know that you've worked with Diane and Christy as far as the Alberta Angling Angels, right? I didn't get
Yeah.
that wrong, did I?
No,
Check
you're
them
good.
out on Facebook. They've got some cool stuff there as well. It's cool to see that you're sharing your experiences. I mean, there are a lot of strong women in the industry coming up. I mean, anyone on social media is seeing it, from yourself to Amber Serban to Lisa Roper, Diane Hunter. Like, there's so many out there, and really all I can say is keep up the good work. And I guess the rest of us will try to have to weed these guys out and maybe start digging holes for you. I'm not sure what the answer is to it. Dana actually brought up a pretty valid point on this topic, and he's asking what your thoughts are with the women that fish on the ocean in big boats and wear bikinis at very obvious camera angles. I'm sure we've all seen it. How do you feel when you're seeing stuff like that?
I get that they're in a place where it's super hot and you're going to be wearing a bathing suit at times. Like that happens, but you can have a decent like social media PG rated bathing suit that's not showing, every little part, or a thong bikini, like you don't necessarily need that to go deep sea fishing. So I think the choices can be made, and And like, you know, some women, like, they can't help it. They're super stunning. They look amazing in those bathing suits. Like, good on you. Like, I'm glad that you want to rock everything that you have, but at the same time, it can just be so easily misconstrued. So, you know, for me, I still think, you know, we're doing a sport. We're out there, we're working hard, whether you're in a boat on the ocean or you're hiking a river in the mountains. And, you know, using the proper gear and showing what you're using is always the best way to go.
I think I've come up with the perfect solution to deal with this. Would you like to hear what I've come up in my mind?
Okay.
Marcy's watching, so this could be a very cold conversation at the end of this show. I'm going to find a mankini, and next time I'm fishing on the boat, maybe I'll go out with Robertson. Maybe I'll go out in the ocean. Maybe when Adam and I plan our trip, we'll pick up a couple mankinis. And maybe we should just start, you know, posing with our fish at the appropriate angle and just bring awareness to, you know, oh, I think Adam's going to have something to say about this. He's nodding his head. So I've seen him in a mankini before. That's probably what he's talking about. I mean, what else can we do to bring awareness to this, in your opinion, Tash, as far as, you know, the respect level?
I think the biggest thing is just show those women out there that are, you know, working hard and doing everything respectfully and like holding their own on social media, you know, show them some love and, you know, like their pages, maybe follow their adventures. There's a lot of chicks, you know, with DSG that I work with that are super inspirational to me, like Nicole Stone, Anna on Ice. You know, they're so respectful. They show the fun side of it. You know, we're all goofy still. Like, you can work hard and still have a ton of fun, and you don't have to be a stick in the mud all the time. And I think those girls really show that, you know, we really enjoy being out there together and, you know, doing that kind of stuff. So I would just say, like, really, you know, show some love to those women and the women that are coming up and getting out there and, you know, working their butts off. Same thing, like give them advice, give them praise.
Well, I will actually agree with you on all those points except one, because I like being controversial.
Okay.
The tips and advice. I've been told by someone I know that I give horrible tips and advice. And I'm going to be honest with you. I love my girlfriend, but she outfishes me. So when it comes to sharing tips and advice, I'm sorry, Tash, but it's deal off. That's all I can say about that.
Well, you know, whatever works for you, but maybe take a step back and just really watch what Marcy is doing and you'll get there, Todd. I know you'll catch those fish like she does.
Man, I'm hoping. I mean, we've all fished together. This chick's got talent. Okay, I've worked for years on organization and tactics, and I spend hours watching Adam's videos. And yet Marcy still outfishes me. I'm usually busy getting the hook in the eyeball, as both of you know. So, I mean, we talk about him enough, so I guess we might as well bring him in. Are you good? You're smiling. You're laughing. I mean,
oh.
For anyone that doesn't get the inside joke, Adam, first of all, thanks for joining us this week.
What's up, guys?
You put up your video, and you also put up the picture. So the funny thing about the picture is anyone that's seen a picture of Marcy holding the pike, which first of all, Adam told her to do it without gloves. Whole nother story. Anyone that sees the picture of Marcy holding the fish, zoom in and take a look at the dude in the back who is holding his eye like this. Not to take away from the fish or Marcy catching it or out fishing me. Anyways, Adam, that was an awesome video. I had fun. I wish we had to fish together more this year, but fishing with Tash and yourself was just awesome. And I know season's kind of wrapped up now, but
well, maybe for you guys, but going hard on the ice still.
You're still going? What do you figure? You have a couple weeks left?
I'm going to go out this weekend again. We'll see about the weekend after that. It's starting to get a little bit rough, but I spent the night on the ice last weekend. We'll do it again this weekend.
Well, I know all 5 pounds of you soaking wet is probably going to be okay on the ice pack that we have right now. I'm not gonna lie. My season's done. It's over. I have my new shack, but it can wait till next year.
See, if I was you, I couldn't wait. If I had a new piece, I'd definitely be out there.
Yeah.
But we have the river. We'll save it for the blooper reel.
Oh no, I'm just fucking. The boat is sick. I want to get up and fish some browns for sure soon.
Well, I think you and I both know what we're saving up for.
Yeah.
The countdown is on. You and I are doing a return trip to Manitoba.
Yes, sir.
You're going to need it for obvious reasons. You're going to have to rest up, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes. The one thing we didn't talk about yet, and we're getting into this more and more, I mentioned it before the show. I put up kind of a product review of the setup and takedown of the new shack that I got. And I know, Adam, you'll enjoy this topic, is even though season is winding down, is the importance of winter gear. And Tash was going to talk about her experience this season and using the DSG line.
Definitely important to have a good float suit. And the DSG line is sick. It's only for women. I'm jealous because they got a butt flap. Like, imagine being able to just unzip and take a poop.
I don't know what to say to that.
Think about it, like every time we have to pee, it's that whole production. So at least one time we get the zippers. That you don't get the zippers.
That's the super sweet feature.
The whole idea behind product reviews is to talk about how much you've enjoyed the product. But now, because I know Marcy's listening, I guess I'm going to be probably looking at buying some DSG gear for her. Because
I definitely think you should.
Do they make tall, though? That is going to be the issue.
They do. And one thing is, because I'm short, I have a super short inseam. So I'm able to shorten my pants over 3 inches for myself. So, like, you know, even on top of like the taller inseam, it's really good for Marcy. And like the biggest thing, like with the way that those suits are made, is they're not just made on like a mannequin or something. These are measured out on real women in different sizes. So that's why they fit so good. Like, I have beyond words with how good this suit fits and how comfortable it is, and it's super well made. They've really just thought of everything for the female angler, especially. I really enjoy that. You know, we have a wicked line of gear that's tailored to us. So,
especially with the flotation end of things, and you actually said something there as well, which I'm enjoying. I mean, I'll even use John as an example today. Typically, when I have clothes, they're not long enough, right? Either in the arms or in the beer belly. You can probably hear me smacking my belly. Marcy will get a laugh out of that. But the pants, the length of the pants, I mean, there's nothing worse. You're already out fishing in the cold than being uncomfortable. It's why I'm such a huge fan of Fish Whipped apparel, right? Barb has everything made to size. DSG, you're telling me, is going to help accommodate tall people. That kind of stuff I enjoy. Would us tall people matter too, right? So, Adam, what are you running? What did you run for winter gear this year?
Well, I had a Striker Predator bibs.
Nice.
I don't ever. You'll rarely catch me in a jacket. I just don't wear a jacket.
And this year, you and I are going to mankini up, right? Now, the general consensus from the group is no.
Dude, my butt is nice. I'm in. Tash will attest to that.
Oh my god. I just like get flashes of you guys doing something stupid in mankinis and I'm dying.
Well, I don't know if Scott Connolly's watching, but I feel like it could be a challenge maybe Scott's up for.
Oh, Scott would be into that.
Sure. Wear them in Manitoba and fight off the bug bites in a mankini. That's right. Your challenge. How many fish can you catch in a mankini without smacking?
Wait till you see three men in a boat catching drum in mankinis. Just tight together. Get the net, bro.
You know what, man? Let's bring some awareness to what women have to deal with in our industry. and how they're exploited. You can exploit this all you want. At the end of the day, it's going to change your whole outlook on what you can and cannot appreciate online. So
honestly, I've had me and Tash are super good friends. I've had Tash call me upset because she has people drive by her and just yell things at her while she's standing in the river fishing. It's just let's show some respect, guys. Come on.
It's uncalled for, and a sign of solidarity. You two are dressed like twins today. I noticed, which in a jiffy, right?
I almost went and got a black beanie while this was going on, just so that we could be super tight.
Just twinning, and then you and I are twinning with hats. I mean, it's a pretty close community, right?
Yeah.
Dino's just saying we should convince Mort to buy bibs and stop fishing in jeans.
Yes, and waders. He finally got waders. At least he's not wading in October 31st in his jeans.
Yeah. And Dana's actually saying 1,000 Manitoba black flies just like your comment for the whole mankini thing there. So
we'll be waiting. We'll sport those bug bites. Proud.
We'll own those bugs. We've done it once. We can do it again.
Hey, I'm bringing bug spray this time. Ridiculous amount.
The funny thing is we had bug spray. We just couldn't find it. When you know the fishing is hot, I mean, you can't be bothered to waste your time walking back to the car for that, right? So
I don't even know how much I slept. I believe we looked for it 3 different times, but we were just out of it, and we just wanted to catch big fish.
And I think kind of the deal we've agreed on here is that you and I will do a return to Manitoba under no pressure. And maybe the girls are planning, Tash and Marcy are potentially planning a trip for sturgeon or Vegas. I don't know. I know there's a girls trip in the works. So
I've heard this story, and I'm definitely down for it. So sturgeon, I'm gonna be looking for that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna drop a video of Tash real soon, just to get us excited for sturgeon.
That was the best opening day ever.
You killed it that day. That was fun.
It was fun. It was so fun.
I know opening day's coming, right? Everyone's getting geared up for it. How soon will you be camping out for opening day for your spot, Adam?
Oh, you know what? We won't get into too many details about my spot because it's really not my spot anymore, apparently. But no, I'm going to be camping somewhere for opening day, and I'll be there the day before. I'll be ready to go on the shoreline making that cast at 12 a.m., I guess it is. Again, I'm stoked for it. I can't wait. You guys know I love sturgeon, so I'll definitely be out there for them.
It's a perfect segue to talk about, and I'm pretty sure he's here, the situation with the fish on and how Greg and yourself will be directly competing for sturgeon. And I'm not
hashtag sturgeon rules.
Greg, I've seen a couple comments from Greg here this evening, and he just put one up. He says that you need to put in as many days as you can before the fish on. Comment?
I have no comment. Honestly, Greg catches some big fish, man, but I'm going to be putting in time, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. Clayton's just saying it's going to be a north versus south.
Don't you worry, Greg. I'll be working hard, buddy.
I am so excited actually for this fish on. I mean, I know it's for charity. You and Tash have talked since she publicly called you out last night. I mean, I didn't even bring any of that on. That was all Tash. She specifically said before we recorded, Adam is my target. How do you feel about knowing that, friendship kind of goes out the door in competitions? Tash, let's start with you. Is it a friendly competition or is it game on?
No, it's both. It's still friendly and it's still game on. It's still friendly and it's still game on, but I really want to give my $1,000 to Youth Can Fish too. So, if Adam's gonna be the guy to beat, Adam's gonna be the guy to beat, and I'm not afraid of that challenge.
Well, I appreciate being called the guy to beat. I don't think so, but I appreciate that. Fishing against Tash. Tash has seen me fish in multiple tournaments. We'll be friends before and we'll be friends after, during. I don't know.
Just between the three of us, we've all had the opportunity to fish together when we're in competitions. Yeah. And I think we love each other so much that we want to despise each other. I know, Adam, for you and I, we spent days in a vehicle where we sit there and all we need to do is look at the other guy and go, I don't love you right now. It's not a love relationship. But Manitoba mosquitoes will teach you that you have to love your brother, even if you don't have bug spray.
I was struggling the first couple days too, so I was just crank.
I just realized I said that, and I already know how people are going to take that. So we might as well just move on to the next topic.
Just know the vehicle is really small, and there's no way anything could happen.
we were going to do it in a mini. Maybe this year we'll do it in a minivan. I guess we'll see what happens.
A mini and mankinis, yeah.
Tash, the profiles are going to go up this week. So Adam and Greg will have your profile on there as well as everyone else. I'm working on the profiles this week. We'll probably have them out. Basically, how it's going to work for anyone that hasn't seen the video is we have 10 additional applications and only 8 spots. So we're going to get everybody's profile up, and based on the people that are watching, are going to be able to like and share and post and comment on those other 10 competitors, and that will help us determine the final 8. Now, for Adam, you're competing against Greg for week 1 against Sturgeon. We already know this. And Tash is going to be going in the pot with the other 7. Now, I will actually tell everyone, Tash has already given Marcy an additional $50 to actually pick who she's being paired up with. And Tash, I've talked to the judges, and that's actually against the rules. So
disqualified.
Disqualified.
It's just going to cost you a little bit extra to your charity of choice. So she tells me everything. I'm on to you guys.
Whatever, Claude, man, she's got my back.
What are you guys hoping the fish on will have for you as far as an experience? I mean, Adam, you've done competition. Tash, have you done much for fishing competition?
I've done like some online stuff. Like last year Andy was alive for like 4 straight years, summer and winter. I did the online derbies, and it really forces you to step out of your comfort zone. And I think after I stopped doing those, after Andy passed away, I kind of got a little more into my comfort zone in certain areas. And so I'm looking forward to stepping out of that a bit again, and finding the fire to just really want to compete and really want to, show what I got, because I think Andy would love that. He loved kicking butt on the water, and so I think to be able to support a charity that he loved and also kick some butt is a pretty good thing to do.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, we'll all still be friends. I know I'll be friends with you because I'll be watching. I won't be competing. But, everyone needs to just keep in mind that it is for charity. Adam, you've got the Royal Canadian Legion. Tash, you've got Use Can Fish too. I mean, there are so many great charities that people need to be made aware of. And at the end of the day, that's the importance. Also making sure that in competition, these fish are going back to live a long life, to be caught again and released, right? Which is important. Yeah. Mitch is actually, this is surprising. Mitch is not willing to comment on who he thinks will be a winner, but he says that he has a huge new sponsor that will have a package for the fish on. Oh, cool. So that's pretty exciting. If you want to send the package to me, Mitch, I will hold on to it and see what all's in there. And as you both know, Mitch, Lily, and Scott Stewart will be judges, so that there's no paying off the main judge, which is me, right? Considering you're both here, go ahead, Adam.
If Tash is in and whoever has to take her on in the first round, if she somehow convinces you to go for cutties, I don't know what you were thinking.
Trouble.
I have no idea what you're thinking. I'm giving you her secret right now. Don't face her in cutties. You're gonna not fare well.
I don't know the way Clayton's talking on here. I think he figures he can take everybody on. So
I've never seen someone fish a spinner like Tash does. She catches some crazy fish on it and catches a lot of fish on it, and she's cutthroat queen. So
she already knows I call her the fairy trout princess. She doesn't even take fishing gear, man. She just wills the fish to come to her. I've seen it. Search the water for fish.
I think like a fish. Me.
You do think like a fish.
Maybe we'll see you in the finals, and if we see you in the finals, we'll let you we'll give you a little advantage. I know you'll need it.
Anything's possible. And talking about competition, and cutties and stuff, the important thing to remember for the most of our competitors is this is not going to be a competition where we're going to expect you to drive 20 hours to go catch a fish based on rankings. We've already decided that based on who's going head to head, those competitors will have the option of working towards a fish that's relatively regional to both to make it fair. Again, as our experience, Adam, that travel can put on a lot of pressure, right? So,
yeah, I mean, last year I did 26-hour drive at one point. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited about the format that you guys have going here. The not so stressful aspect where I got to drive from one end of the country to the other. This is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of great anglers that are in that pool there. I'm excited to see who comes in. And I'm excited to watch Greg cry as I beat him.
Speaking of crying, who do you think will be crying if they have to face Paisley Connolly in the finals?
I will be crying.
Yes, I will agree with that. I have seen that little girl catch fish, and catch fish she can. Slayer right there.
Hey, that's why we name those frogs Paisley minnows, because she's a slayer.
Paisley minnows. I actually forgot about that.
You put a Paisley minnow on, it's go time.
Yep. I did have a question the other day that someone asked me was that with head-to-head competition, how's it going to work? We have 10 people first week. We weren't going to give a lot of information, but basically it's a 1-week competition. So after week one, it's going to be down to 5 competitors. I think Adam knows. I don't know if I told Tash. Do you guys know how we're going to have a head-to-head competition in week 2 with 5 competitors?
Do you want me to just say it?
Sure, you go. Let's see if you remember our conversation.
The most awesome looking fish in Alberta that gets so much hate for some reason, walleye, baby.
Right?
Biggest 4 walleye are going to move to round 3. So that's how you narrow down that 5, because 5, no one's getting a bye, no one's sneaking by. We got to put those 5 head to head.
It's going to be intense. And, my guess, I have a feeling someone's going to get a 32-inch walleye.
I've seen Paisley catch huge walleye.
Top 4 walleye.
I've seen everybody in this competition. Well, I guess I don't know absolutely everybody, but almost everyone in this competition I've seen with big walleye in their hands. So
wait till you see the profile pictures that we're going to put up this week. I mean, you've got competitors possibly from Saskatchewan, Manitoba, BC, right? I mean, people would even think that some of those areas don't have opportunity for big walleye. You will be surprised at what we have to show.
Absolutely.
Dana's got a question mark beside 32-inch walleye in Alberta, and Greg's saying he's going to go for a 33.
Well, I've caught a 32-inch walleye in Alberta, so
I've seen Marcy catch big walleye.
Yep.
I think I'm at about 28.5 as my largest, and I know she's caught bigger because I was there. I've seen it.
That's because you don't stay overnight.
Valid.
I don't know why I'm kind of being a jerk tonight. I'm sorry to everyone, especially Greg. I hope you don't ever cry, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen Greg cry. It's kind of interesting.
Kind of hot.
Yeah, that's what I meant by interesting. Well, it is 8:00. We're actually in overtime. Tash, thank you so much for joining the show. It's been awesome having you on here. Adam, I love you, man. I know that we're going to be seeing each other soon here in about a month and a half, hopefully sooner. But we are planning our trip to Manitoba. It's going to be awesome. Tash, I'm hoping we can get out for cutties here soon. I'll let you contact my number one pro staff here and see if she can get something arranged for us to go out and hit cutties. Maybe even at our background pitcher, because I know the three of us know what that background pitcher is, along with so many others, right? So
speaking of that background pitcher, I actually have that place. That is me. That's that place. I love that place. It's so special.
It's amazing.
Mm.
Almost everybody in Alberta knows what it is, but if you don't know what it is, here's the hunting. Next week, Bobby of Bow City Reelers. Adam, I know you fished with Bobby. I have not been fortunate.
He's very knowledgeable fly fisherman. Very knowledgeable.
Did you know he's into building rods, Tash?
Yes, I did. He looks like he makes some sweet fly rods.
I'm just going to leave that little nugget of information here. That's all we're going to say about that. Just as a hint.
Stoked to catch that episode with Bobby. That's going to be sick.
It's going to be awesome. We're going to have Bobby on here next week. We're already talking. And Bobby's one of your potential competitors. So just saying. No pressure.
That'll be sick.
All right, everybody.
Thanks for having me. Love you guys.
Love you guys too. Thanks for joining this week. And we'll see you next week on the Other Line Canada, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. See ya.